Caller ID.
All right, I'm Dr. Necktie. This is one take of 7 fragrances that nobody's talking about. Now, don't take this absolutely. People have talked about these, I'm sure, but these are fragrances that I think deserve more attention than they probably get. Maybe they've been on your radar and they've fallen off, or they've never been on your radar to begin with. So I want to just give them some love. I've got notes here to help facilitate this process, because in one take there's going to be some hoes, hums, haws, there's going to be some imperfections, and we're leaving them all in for the sake of this video. 7 scents. And the first one I got here is Voyage d'Hermès, the Parfum version. Now, the Eau de Toilette gets more attention, I think, than this pure perfume concentration. So it's a lot heavier than its predecessor, and I think it's the more well-rounded version. It's light and heavy at the same time, this simultaneous pull of the citrus and then some darker, woodier elements. It's got sandalwood, it's got lemon, and these two things together make something that you could wear just about anywhere. It's got plenty of staying power due to that high oil, so it'll last all throughout your day. Makes it perfect for the office, makes it perfect for just about anything. All 4 seasons, even though this scent profile lends itself to warm weather, you can wear this anytime. In this, I'll stay on the citrus category, we've got Iris Homme, or Iris Homme, if you want to go for some French pronunciation, from Parfum Sartori. Have you heard of this brand? I kind of forgot about this one, but revisiting a sample really made me appreciate it. Iris, of course, backed by lemon and cardamom. A really nice combo there, because it's got a lighter, more effervescent element that lemon always provides, but then it's got some heat to it due to that cardamom. So it makes this nice spicy citrus tandem. And with that earthy iris, it's a well-rounded composition. Again, I think this would go really well for work. You could wear this in the cooler months, but you'd probably appreciate it more in the warmer months. It lasts just a few hours, but it's light and you could always reapply it. I really like this balanced composition. I watched a thing on Japanese whiskey. Well, it was on single malt Scotch whiskey. Of course, the origin of that whiskey, but it's gone worldwide, and one of the regions they visited was Japan. And the expert was talking about the way that Scots make their whiskey versus the way Japanese make their whiskey. And there's 2 different layouts of the notes, if you will. Scotch, he described it as the notes blending together. There's these peaks and troughs of the way that the flavored notes present themselves, whereas for Japanese whiskey, they do it a little bit differently. In a Zen-like fashion, the notes are spread out on a plane and in these neat little piles. So instead of weaving in and out among these notes, you can kind of pick your destination in these clean, organized piles. And this fragrance, being a Japanese company, Japanese fragrance, presents itself in much the same way. It's clean, it's quite Japanese, and I just appreciate that parallel in the way that Japanese makes their whiskey and the Japanese makes their perfume. Something a little different out there that I think you'd enjoy. Coming back to a designer that I don't think's talked about enough in the perfume world is Hermenegildo, known for their premium suits, of course, but they've got some fragrances, and this one is Indonesian Oud. So you can assume the oud's from Indonesia. It's on paper, a rose oud combination done trillions and trillions of times. But what makes this one different and a little more user-friendly, in my opinion, is it's got the bergamot up top and a leather undertone. Got this nice warm leather, which really livens up the oud, makes it not so dark. And so I think it would be great for a beginner who's just getting into oud. You want something to expand your palette, and maybe you've tried ouds in the past and nothing worked for you. For instance, Tom Ford Oud Wood. If that didn't do anything for you, you might give this a try, because it's not just oud. There's a nice gamut of note fragrances. There's a nice gamut of notes that you can reach for. I need some more coffee. Now, I'm being cheeky with this one. Tom Ford Noir. This is probably the most talked about fragrance on this list of fragrances that nobody's talking about. But I'm thinking of this in comparison with the more popular flanker that came from this fragrance, Noir Extreme. You likely know that one as the buttery, sweet, intriguing, vanilla-based gourmand. But this one, the original Noir, really, really different. It's got a heavy dose of patchouli. There are some wild spices in here, caraway seeds. And this intriguing combination on a designer shelf in the designer market, really strange, really funky. It rivals almost all of the private blend collection. I've got my qualms with Tom Ford private blends, but what Tom Ford is doing for their signature collection, in many ways, it is more inspired, it is more intriguing, more daring in some ways, and of course less expensive than that of what they offer in the private selections. So give Tom Ford the signature line a chance. And Tom Ford, if you want something really interesting, and if you're a fan of patchouli, you'll really jive with this one. We're going indie right here with the House of Broken Anatomy, Burnt Remedy. Now, this is a one-man operation out of Arizona. I happen to know the perfumer really well. Consider him a friend. And Burnt Remedy is my favorite of his small selection. It's got cashmeran, it's got some tobacco, and it's got a hay note. And it results in this fuzzy, fizzy, wild, cool weather scent profile. It's really hard to describe. You just gotta try it. Tobacco like you've never experienced before. And the star of the show here is that cashmeran note. What that does is it creates this rough, fuzzy texture. And as you spray it, you go, whoa, this is strange, right? But it does warm up on the skin and projects in this beautiful, almost chocolatey combination. And again, you've got to experience it. It is an extrait concentration, the highest you can get, so it's gonna last on you. And it's almost got this licorice texture to it as well. I really love it. It is an enigma, and I think more people need to get their noses on it, if not for being fans of those other scent profiles, then just to give yourself a treat. So sorry, my battery died. I don't know where I was on that. So let me just back up here. The Yang. This is not a blue bottle from Histoire de Parfum. They've got two bottles in this selection, and I think one is yin and one is yang, and I'm talking about the yang. The bottle looks like this. I'll put it up on screen so you don't get confused. We've got aldehydes, we've got ozone notes. This is the definition of ozonic. And it's almost a nothing sort of scent. Ethereal, light, you can hardly smell it. And although it didn't do much for me, I think there could be someone out there who's looking for something, an alternative. And if you're a big fan of the Molecule 01 from the Eccentric line, they have their fans. And I think if you like those kinds of scents where it's just skin scent, barely on you, barely perceivable, but just a little addition to your natural aura. This could be perfect for you. It lasts just about as long as the eccentric line does. And some people will be able to detect this better than others. So if you're in the market for one of those scents, a scent that you don't want to project out too much, something that's just an extension of yourself, you got it in the gang. This is not a blue bottle. Cheeky name, isn't it? Last on this list, from Armani Privé collection, Cuir Noir, or leather night, leather black. So of course, a leather-based scent. What does this have in it? It's actually the star of the show, they claim, is saffron, which does create a leathery sort of feel. And it's not listed, but I also get kind of a bitter dark chocolate, because when you first spray this, you do get some bitter elements, but it quickly sweetens up and warms up on the skin and gets something that I think would make a perfect night out kind of fragrance. It wouldn't be my first choice for going on a night out, but I think it would be great on a date, great at nighttime, and as we enter these cool months in the Northern Hemisphere, you might really enjoy this. If you like things in the manner of ombre leather from Tom Ford, and even in the private blend, if you like that Tuscan leather too. This is something a little more sensual, a little more smoother, well-rounded than those more aggressive leathers. Cuir Noir, perfect choice. Leave a comment down below if you like these minimal cuts, these minimal edits. I'm trying something new. I'm always trying new things here. Let me know.